12:01 on Oil Stream. Zach came running in here quick. Everything okay, Zach? I was more worried about you than us.
Who gave you sugar today?
He's all over the place today.
Oh,
what's going on, everybody? Thank you very much for being here. Dusty and Tommy with it. Hernan Salas getting us up and running over there as well as we will dive into the Edmonton Oilers. They're on the ice today. I saw Reed was down at practice with some line combinations, so we will get into that as well. You can text us 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. How was the hangout today?
a lot of fun.
Sounded like a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. The best part was like in the first 20 minutes when we were doing the debrief on the draft, you like hearing it on Facebook or on YouTube, watching. And I could hear your delayed anger.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm going to keep going. This is good.
No, it was... We'll get to it.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to it.
I thought you'd be a hot tamale, but I like
No.
Honestly, it's pretty fun.
We got the spicy headlines.
It is, yeah.
We'll get to our spicy headlines today. I got a few things I want to say.
I can.
In the end, I do feel bad because it is taking away from a nice win for Eric. Like Lieutenant Eric picking up the handsome man.
I gave him a firm handshake. I gave him a round
his first clear-cut win.
Yes.
Since we started.
Yes.
Here at EST, won a bunch back at the old place. Had a split win with Glue Guy, but ended up getting the job done there. And
he readily and openly admits it's the draft he least wanted to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he did it.
Sometimes
those are the ones like the Christmas draft when I couldn't talk. It's just like you stay more focused when you're not getting emotionally like you want to win it type of thing. Like, what are you doing?
Cool story.
Oh yeah, cool story. Yeah, cool. I was like, why are you taking my notes? No. Not that I have many notes today, but we'll
referencing the Christmas draft.
Get to a few of those. We'll get into. We got lots to get to. So I know there's some good. Doug Test says interesting. All the topics listed on the side. Are we gonna be able to get to them after 50 minutes of draft talk? Well, we're gonna get to the Oilers to start. Set aside a little bit of time for some draft recaps. If you have any keep it or clip it questions. I was having computer issues today, so I was scrambling with that before lock shop, so I could use some keep it or clip it questions. You can text them into 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999.
Like
after the trade? Yeah. All right, Hernan Salas with a good one.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
All right, well, let me write that down. Okay, perfect. All right, good work. Let's get a few more. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999 is where you can get in. Big Slam Nasty says is that Dustin Nielson, my favorite Bozone host? You are wearing a Bozone shirt today.
It's cold. Like stay warm out
cold,
there,
man.
And these shirts are yes, it's a Bozone shirt, but it is very very comfortable and very warm. Yes, hello.
Do you ever feel guilty driving out of like your underground parking in the morning and people are struggling with their vehicles?
No, because I have struggled with my vehicle
in the past. You've been there.
Yeah, absolutely. I had to park.
Trev's dealing with that a bit right now with his car. Yeah,
you got to plug it in. You got to turn like when it gets extremely cold. Run out there if you don't have. I never had a remote starter, so I'd always have to run out and start the car just to kind of keep the engine going. And I've been through those struggles, and that's why when I finally started getting my own places, I'd always get them with either a garage or underground parking. And I sympathize for those people, but I'm just like, oh, I know that pain, and it sucks.
Yeah, It does suck. So I park on the driveway. Tammy parks in the garage.
Yeah,
and this GMC Sierra that I have, it has like the block heater plugins, like a 3-prong thing. It's different. It's like a smaller little one, and I lost it. So I don't know where it is. So I can't just plug it in with a regular like extension cord.
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Do they do it so you have to buy an adapter?
Well, I think now, because I lost it. I thought it's a big thing in our house right now. Because I'm pretty sure last year I put it back in the glove box where I found it when I first got the truck. Tammy says that I must have lost it, but I know she cleaned out the truck at one point, and I was like, bet you threw that cord. So it's this big thing in the house.
No. Amazon.
So I went to, I guess I could get one on Amazon. Yeah. I went to Canadian Tire and they didn't have the right one. And then I was like, well, I guess I could go to a dealership, but I just don't want to be a guy who goes into the dealership and is like, I lost my plug-in. So I usually fire the truck up at night, like at around 11 for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Make sure she's good because I'll be up like 5 hours later to go to work. It's not that bad.
That's frustrating because the plug-in obviously essential in our climate, and I know that full well. But I would go to Amazon. Amazon, man, like I bought all kinds of stuff on Amazon. My mom got me a GC for Christmas, and like it ended up getting me.
I have an Amazon GC sitting around too.
Yeah. I got so much stuff. I got a new jock for hockey. I got new laces for my new white sneaks. I got stuff for my fridge. New water filters.
All of these gift certificates.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
And like there's always little deals. And I got new swim shorts. It was a great haul. Thanks, Mom.
You got new swim trunks too?
Yeah.
On Amazon.
Yeah.
So you just hope they're the right size, eh?
Like, they came in. I had the same style, but in a different color. And like now I will never need swim trunks again for years.
That's nice. I've been running the same pair of swim trunks for quite some time.
I mean, you think about it, like you're not always wearing them, and then you wear them a couple times and you wash them, and you're good to go.
Lots of good keep it or clip it questions coming in.
Excellent.
So we'll get into those. Keep them coming in. For Tommy Guns, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. And we will get to Big Sam Nasty says, got to be careful pulling out of those heated garages when it's this cold. Still let it warm up a few minutes. Might cause it to freeze up on the side of the road. What?
Like when
that
you
could
park?
Actually happen? Yeah, not while you're driving, it's not going to freeze up on the side of the road. But
like,
he's saying, I think you heat it up, you get going, and then you drive somewhere and stop, and it could just freeze up quickly like that.
What? Really?
Maybe that's what they're saying.
Big Slam Nasty, what you mean?
Yeah.
Like my car is acclimated to being only indoors, so when I park it out here, let's say for 5-6 hours, and then I go in and start it up, it might struggle because the engine and the whole thing is used to being inside all the time.
Dave the Welder says, my wife's car has that same thing as me.
Mm-hmm.
She drove away with it, wrecked it, $265 for new one at the dealership. Yeah.
The dealership is the worst.
It's pricey.
They gouge you.
That's why
so
I
hard.
don't really want to go into the to the dealership. Man, we should ask for keep it or clip it every single day. I never have to come up with these. This is great. We'll get to a bunch of them as we work our way through the show this morning. We will address the elephant in the room with the draft as well.
I don't know what the problem
even
is.
Lieutenant Eric, who's kind of been flying under the radar here a little bit. Even his victory is being questioned by some people today.
Really?
In the chat. Yeah, which I kind of disagree with, but anyway, we'll get to it. Oilers, Leafs, Tommy, let's start there. Then we'll get into the lines coming from practice today. I was at the skills and drills yesterday. We can hit on that a little bit, but post game Oilers, Leafs.
A few. So much to talk about. Let's just start with where they were deficient, this team. Okay, you're without Matthias Ekholm.
It's glaring, isn't it?
Yes, but like you should, in theory, be able to pull together and patch it up for a game. Toronto's a good team. Have been all season. They've got great players on that team. They were very sharp compared to the Oilers, especially in the first period. But defensively, passing-wise, Edmonton, not just the defense, especially in the first period, but the 5-man unit, whichever 5-man combination was out there on the ice, very sloppy, slightly off. Offensive zone, when they did have looks in the first period or so, they would pass up great opportunities with lanes to the net for shots. Even though they had, 48 shots by the end of the night, there were still some times where it's like, why did you force that last pass? Just shoot it. These guys have great shots. And then the PK lets them down. A couple of missed checks. People were complaining about Skinner. You were in there.
I thought he was their least valuable guy, but
he wasn't great.
No, he wasn't. I just thought, you handled a couple of those better, they win the hockey game.
Like he completely looked the wrong way trying to find the puck on the first goal.
One
goes by on blocker's side. He should have looked right.
Rebound control on the second one wasn't good.
But I look at
the
Stetcher.
Third one. Well, yeah, but I know
Stetcher and Brown.
Yeah.
Brown misses his check on that one.
Yeah, that was not good.
And was it Nyes that tucked that one in? And then Stetcher just gets Bobby McMahon.
He's just too little.
Bad positioning. Stu makes the first save. Yeah, okay.
I thought that one was a controllable rebound.
Was it optimal rebound control?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But like I looked at that. I'm like, oh my God, that was way too easy for Bobby McMahon to just take the puck away from Stetcher.
The fourth one that some
battle.
people didn't like. I didn't mind that. I mean, that was a tough one. Made a save, then went off a skate in between his legs.
Yeah,
like that one.
I didn't love it either, but those are those weird quick bounces that happen in pro hockey where you're just like, you blink and you're like, what the hell happened there? Because I thought he made the save, and he did, and then all of a sudden it trickles into the net. I'm like, what was that?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like I think I said, people grilled me for this, and I get it. On the post-game show, I said, I thought Stu played a good game. And they're like, you idiot, this, that. And
they were coming after you pretty hard when you used the word. I think it was just because you used the word good.
Good, yeah. They were not having it. The libations were flowing. But man, like he was not great. The team in front of him was awful in the first period. They dug themselves a 3-goal deficit. And then they climbed out of it, which was incredible. And they really buckled it down. And including Stu, who made some good saves. Key saves on nice opportunities for the Leafs in the third period. And I think even at times in the second that allowed them to almost tie it. I mean, they thought they tied it, the offside thing, that sucks, but it was totally offside. But it was not a sharp game for the team. And I think they can bounce back. They have a great opportunity this week to have a nice week, especially with the St. Louis and Chicago games. But yeah, the dumping on Stu, and Hernan hit on it a bit too, Dusty. Post game, he goes, there's like 3 topics that
they pop up after every game
that people just go to and hammer on. And it's like they're only looking for these 3 things. And when they can check it off the box, they go, well, if they lose this game, I'm going to tell you why Bouchard was crappy. I'm going to tell you why Stu Skinner is not a number 1 goalie. And I'm going to tell you why they need depth scoring or something like that. And it's like, guys, like, can we open? And I said it. I'm like, we're looking at the game like this. Let's open it up a little bit. And then people, oh, you're a Stuart Skinner empathizer or sympathizer, apologist. Sure, whatever. But
the thing is that you just have to have a fair and accurate take on him from game to game.
Yeah,
like there's just some people who, no matter what Stuart Skinner does, if he actually plays very well, you won't hear from him. They only pop up when he doesn't play well. Yeah. I would prefer, like I said when I got in on the postgame there briefly, I said, look, I'm usually a pro Skinner guy. I didn't like his game Saturday night. Like, you have to be able to call a spade in some of these situations. Yep. And people coming after Bouchard on Saturday night as well. And I thought you laid out his stat line. Would you, like, before you guys went to Bouchard, you're like, well, he was 25 minutes 20, plus 2. Yep. Like, and
hit the post late.
I'm seeing. Did you see Stoff's tweet today about Bouchard?
I did, and I kind of was like, oh.
It's just funny if you go look at the replies, because Stoff is doing the Stoff thing.
Yes.
He paid by the team, put a positive spin on everything. Yes. I get it. I mean, that's what he does. So he laid out, it's time on ice. His Corsi, his Fenwick, his 5-on-5 expected goals for. They're all great. And he goes, crazy how many haters he has. And I was expecting, when I clicked on it, to see a lot of people be like, that a boy, Stoff. Like, but it's just people in there like melting down, being like, yeah, but he can't do this, he can't do that. It's
he's only out there with McDavid.
Yeah, like it's there's the
hate for Bush this year is strong, and a lot of it is fueled by the looming contract.
Dude, he doesn't even have the contract yet.
No, I know.
Like, he's a great deal right now for this team.
And people are like, bridge him again. He doesn't deserve it. It's not what he deserves or doesn't deserve. And it's like, it's the market, comparables with his peers and what they're going to get, what they're getting right now, where the cap is going. And we saw the cap officially being bumped up.
Yeah.
There could be some tweaks to the cap number. I think not next year, but the year after and the year after. But it's pretty much set in terms of where it's going to be, upper and lower limit. People go, well, you can't pay him more than Nurse. It's like, I understand that rationale, but the reality is when Darnell signed that contract and where things are at now in terms of cap and the money and record revenues, that 2 or 3 year difference inflates what Bouchard's going to get, and it's going to be more than Darnell. There's so much there.
There is a lot there.
There is, yeah.
You can text us 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Just quickly for Elks fans, I believe it was mentioned this morning, or at least yesterday online, that they were still in the mix on Reggie Stubblefield. He has signed with the Ticats, according to Dave Naylor. So Stubblefield will not be a member of the Double E.
A 3-year contract. Yeah. You don't see a lot of those.
No, you don't see a lot of
1 years.
Maybe that's how it starts to get deals done for some of these guys.
Yeah.
They'll start tacking on a third year.
Really quickly, I know this is the oil stream, but in terms of CFL, because it's going to be an exciting few days here, and we have the big show next week, I think it is. The idea and getting back to and finding a way to get the league to where they have longer term contracts and guys do stay in their markets longer to build that star status. I kind of like that.
Yeah, I think it's it. I hope you see it a little bit more. All right, 780-218-9999. You can text us, obviously, every single day right here on the Oil Stream if you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. And hey, if you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. That would be much appreciated. And we're almost to 11.2 subs. I'm saying we're like 3 or 4 away. So that's the next step as we make our push up towards 12,000. So if you've not yet subbed to the channel, that would be great as well. Let's see here. Some text messages to get to also over in the nasty chat as well. It is funny because you're seeing people. Yeah, Penner's Pancake saying, guys, the fear in this market right now is Bush and Skinner's next contract. Yeah, but worry about that when it comes up. I mean, if you're worried about Bouchard's contract right now, you should be ecstatic if you don't like the way he's playing because it's going to come in at a lower number.
Yeah, I mean, case against him.
If the fear you have is the next Stuart Skinner contract, this just did. I mean, with the way he's played so far this season, Logan Thompson just got what? 6 years, 5 point something?
5.85.
I don't see Stuart Skinner getting a number that goes above 6.
No, and Aiden Hill, I think, is a great comparable too. Aiden Hill, I think he's making. I'm just double checking. I think it's like 5.5.
Yeah, I mean that's the range that he's in. Like Stuart Skinner's not coming in at 7-8 mil, and Bouchard's not coming in at 11. Like, let's just see where this goes before you start hating on these guys unjustifiably.
4.9 for Hill.
So yeah, he's going to be somewhere between Hill and Logan Thompson, which is where he should be.
And then again for that 11 mil, and I've been saying it, that's the ask, right?
Yeah, he's not getting $11 million. There's no way.
Oh, he doesn't. I can't. It's just, that's the ask. That's where the bargaining begins. And the Oilers could counter with like 8. No. And then they work their way to the middle and find some common ground. That's just how it's going to work out. And hey, you know what? He's got 30 regular season games to get his ass in gear defensively.
Yeah.
Sharpen up maybe a bit
Crank
offensively.
It up a little bit, yeah.
And he's done it. That's the thing is we're forgetting, collectively we are forgetting that in the second half of the last 3 seasons, he has gotten much better in his own zone. The offense has always been there, and he was reliable in the playoffs, and he's capable of doing that. And people want to fire him off into the sun, and it's like, hey, you do have a good defenseman there. He's proven it. He's done it year after year after year. This year, for whatever reason, it hasn't clicked, which is unfortunate. He's fighting it.
This text says, guys, this is a good team, but they have to quit spotting the other team 3 in the first. Yeah. Not a big deal in the regular season, but it will be a short playoff run if they can't sort that out. And Waddy, I want to tie this into some of the conversation because last night on Twitter, or maybe it was Saturday, whatever, people were basically saying, listen, man, Skinner can't allow 2 or 3 goals all the time in the first period. But I just don't think you can hang that all on Stuart Skinner. Like the team in front of him has to play better early in hockey games as well. It's a full team effort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then saying Pickard should be the number 1 is also kind of baffling too. Well, his number's this, his number's that.
Some guys just get carried away.
Calvin Pickard is an excellent backup goalie in the NHL.
Yeah, that's what he is. That
does not mean he's a starter. He's 32 years old. He was supposed to be the goalie of the future for the Colorado Avalanche a decade ago.
A long time ago.
It didn't work out. He was up and down for years and years and years, and then now he's taken advantage of a great opportunity when Jack Campbell faltered, and he's excelling in his role. I don't see him becoming a late bloomer like Tim Thomas did or Dwayne Rollison, where it took them forever and ever and ever to finally become bona fide number 1s in the NHL. I don't think that's going to be Calvin Pickard's story.
Why was everybody outside? What are you guys doing out there?
Yeah, what are you guys doing?
Hernan was out. Whose car? Oh, Eric's car. No. Did you get it fired up? Good. How'd you get it going? You push it? You jumped it. A little jumperoo.
No big deal.
That's a good.
That's man
that's a
stuff.
good team right there.
Did you see Jay Milton, how confident? He's like, it's just man stuff.
Oh, he's a man.
He's a man. You're a man, Jay Milton.
His cheeks are really shiny. They're rosy red from
It's
the
not
coldness
warm out
outside. Still freezing?
Mm.
Tammy's teaching today, and she's like, I think I have to run out of both recesses and start the car just to make sure.
Play it safe. Bless you.
Ooh, excuse me. Sneezy
Hello.
boy. All right, our very own Reed Wilkins. Reed Wilkins show from 3 to 6 today right here. Good show, too. Gazdick and Scott Oak, I believe.
Wow, good.
Yeah,
Nice.
Gazdick and Scott
Very
Oak
good,
today
very
from
good.
3 to 6 right here at Edmonton Sports Talk.
Bunch of good dudes.
From practice today, McDavid between Draisaitl and Perry, Nuge between Hyman and Arvidsson, Henrique with Kapanen and Skinner, and Podkolzin down with Philp/Janmark and Connor Brown. Somebody did text in about Connor Brown. Let's get to that quick text on Connor Brown. Andy Pandy texts in and says,
Andy
Connor
Pandy.
Brown's really struggling in my opinion. Usually very dependable on the defensive side of the puck. He's not offering much offensively either. Very disappointing month for him. We need more from Brown, Henrique, Arvidsson, and Janmark. That's in from Andy Pandy. I would fully agree from all four of those guys.
Absolutely.
They got to get more.
We were looking at Connor Brown's game log here. An assist versus Seattle. Double donuts between January 25th and January 7th. His last assist was also against Seattle on January 4th. Yeah, he has really, really struggled in the month of January. And now it's leaked into February. I guess what his redeeming quality would be, he still busts his ass, gives you something on the PK, although you can't really say that about the PK on Saturday, on top of the fact that one of those goals was his man that scored on a rebound. And he usually finds a way to battle through it, but is he going to Klima this playoff again? Or Mike Pekka it? I don't know. But he has had moments. Remember, he had a 3-game goal scoring streak? I think that was in mid-December. They do need more from Arvidsson. Arvidsson's name has come up for all the wrong reasons of late. Podkolzin has gone quiet, and then you saw and read out Reed's lines, and now he finds himself
He has not been out of that top 6 in a long time.
I know. What does he have, 19 points still? Still 19 points, I think. And Henrique, his offensive struggles, whether it's adapting to third-line center full-time or just...
I think it's just less offensive opportunity than he had in those other spots. Like in Anaheim, for example, he would have been on the power play.
He was a top
He would have been playing, 4 or 5 more minutes a night
exactly
than he is here. I think these numbers are just third-line production from Adam. You want to see more.
I think he's capable of more.
But the numbers just haven't been there.
He's on pace for like a 25-point season.
I know.
That's half of what he had last. More than half. Or less than half.
Less than half of what he had last year. So, but that being said, he's playing like... No, actually, after he came here, he was still actually pretty productive.
Yeah, but he was bouncing between the top 3 lines.
He was playing on the wing a bit with the big boys.
Yes. And not power play one time.
No, he wouldn't be in PP1, but yeah. All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Let's get into your Popeyes spicy headlines where they have the value menu now available at all Popeyes locations. This features 5-piece nugs, fried pickles, mini chicken wrap, mini chicken sandwich, and blackened cauliflower for just $4 plus tax. Perfect snackable items. You can even just add to your favorite meal if you would like to.
Very good.
All right, Popeye spicy headlines, Tommy. This defense that you wagered this morning on the hangout. I just don't know if I can buy it. I don't know if I can buy it.
I'm not selling anything. I'm just telling you how it is.
Okay, but let me just a sec here. Let's discuss this.
Oh, you even have graphics
Let's discuss this.
Yep.
Okay, so
what do we got there?
on the hangout today.
What's that?
This is a screen cap of your team.
That's my team?
Taken from your Instagram.
Oh, that's
story.
not one of the other teams?
You're a horrible liar.
What am I lying about? I'm just checking.
So you said that you didn't even know you took your team. And then you put over top vote best team ever on there. So that was just a coincidence that you screen capped your own team and then put vote best team ever.
Oh, I didn't screen cap my own team. Oh, wait, yes, I did actually.
That's your team, right?
I screen capped that team.
Yeah.
Which I guess was my team.
You didn't know it was your team when you first screen capped them? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that makes sense. Just
jazzing up the...
And then this year has nothing... You're not telling people in any way to vote for team number 3 here in this screen cap here either, right?
No, I just like the number 3 a lot.
Yeah, that's okay. So that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure you weren't trying to influence the vote in any way.
Don't know what the correlation to team 3, if that was actually my team. What a coincidence.
You're a horrible liar. Like, you should have just owned it this morning. Like the fact
There's nothing to own.
But then why did you delete it?
Out of good faith.
But it wouldn't have been posted in good faith in the first place.
I was surprised by the witch hunt. And
how could you be surprised by the witch hunt? We've never done that before. We went into a new venture. The commish wanted to go into Instagram. I was like, I know how to I saw everybody else reposting probably their own teams. I did. I just posted the whole draft.
Yeah, and I was like, please go vote. I was like, I like that all of us are reposting it on our Instagram stories. I just thought that the backgrounds and the look of your guys' reposts were a little bland, so I thought I'd add some spice, and the number 3 came up a bunch.
You're just never, ever. Just as Andrew says, Tommy, plead the 5th there.
Best vote ever. I don't know, vote best team. That was one of those gifts that popped up.
Vote best team ever. Next slide. It's just a bunch of different 3s.
Weird, man.
Couldn't have been any more obvious.
I don't know about that. And then so I was like, if this is really bothering everybody, I'm just out of good faith unnecessarily going to remove those 2.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, now let's get to some of the reaction here. Okay. All right, 780. There's a commissioner conversation to be had. I agree.
There should be one.
Somebody said Eric only won because Quinn gave him the Skinner pick. Which I don't think I would agree with, but that whole controversy is flying under the radar a little bit right now too.
It is.
Now the common theme, I guess, would be the commish in these situations, and it'll be interesting to see. Do you think she actually sanctions you in one way or the other?
She might. Do I have to accept these sanctions? No.
Do I have to accept these sanctions? No. Tommy, you're going to be suspended for one draft. No, I'm not. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Let's get on the commish because this was first of all, I'm going to begin this with I have a lot of respect and she is a good friend of mine. I love the commish. Quinn's excellent, but if you watched or listened to that draft the other day, you could tell that Quinn was very into it.
Yeah,
more
she talks,
so than the
she
other
talks
draft.
a lot. Yeah. I mean, I kind of get it.
Yes,
if I was overseeing a draft of attractive women, I'd probably be a little bit fired up too.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. But there were times where I thought the commish may have put her thumb on some of the scales, and bias came into it a bit. And
she's very opinionated on some of the picks, yes.
Yeah, and I didn't want to say anything during the draft. I wanted to just let it all play out and observe it. And if there was an issue that needed to be brought up, like right now, I would say that's how I felt about it. I'm not saying that she needs to be sanctioned. I'm not saying that we need to vote if we need to keep her on.
Somebody's suggesting you appeal if she does sanction.
I might have to.
But then you know who the appeal would probably go to? Actually, no, I know who the appeal will go to. No, the appeal will go to HR Daddy. He does arbitration for a living.
Yeah, he does.
He would have a very, very down the middle view of this.
I would have a very strong case. And so it's just there. And then there was giving the picks, and so I thought that was worth discussing, and maybe. That should be in question more so than me happening. I just was promoting our draft on Instagram.
You almost outed yourself again. Me happening to promote my team.
Me happening to promote our draft. With a lot of threes
in the end, I mean, with the combined votes, no relegation either way. I mean,
yeah,
we are wondering if she does sanction and take away all of your Instagram votes.
Well, then I would appeal by saying all of Dusty's Twitter votes should be taken off the board, and then you would be relegated.
We always do the draft on Twitter.
Yeah, I know, but then you would be relegated if we went only via.
We've never done that before. Twitter's always been the. There is a time for the first, and that's what we saw. Now, the one thing I will say, if it would have been up to me, we would have never expanded to an Instagram vote anyway.
That was
it's a little sloppy.
Curveball.
It's kind of, I don't know if she wants to continue with that or what happens there. But if if she was going to go down that road with the Instagram vote and then the tabulation between the two on total votes and stuff like that, probably could have been some rules that have been put in place. And now, obviously, there's a gentleman's agreement that many of us have been talking about that you decided to look past. And
I don't know what was violated in this gentleman's agreement.
Your face is amazing. I love it. All right. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999 is where you can get in. The Georgia Satellite says those posts were solely in interest of advancing the EST cause. You can't punish Tommy for doing EST good work.
The Georgia Satellite gets it.
I mean, it could have been the case, but why not screen cap Glue Guy's team?
I didn't.
And then accidentally see you son of a, and then go, hey, vote for.
Or just a whole bunch of fours on the screen for some reason. Roman numerals. I don't know.
All right. So we'll see where this goes. I'm not too sure if she's going to want to come on this show or morning show or hang out or somewhere and say what she's thinking. But she did say it would play out in the public realm.
Of course it would.
I didn't think we'd ever find anybody more controversial than Matty Owanek, but Quinn is kind of cover that. Do you think now? There's people in the chat. There's people online listening on TuneIn and iHeart. Tell your friends. There are people calling for her to step down.
I'm surprised by that.
Yeah. I think she's entertaining for the drafts.
Oh yeah,
I love her. I don't want her to go anywhere.
Same.
But the calls for this. What are we going to go through a new commission every 7 months here at Edmonton Sports Talk?
No, and she's a great addition to the hangout first of all, and then on top of that, the draft. She's perfect for it, but it doesn't mean she's got a perfect record as commissioner. And I think we should allow some grace here.
Allow her some.
Absolutely,
people have to learn in these situations.
And now she's trying to help the draft evolve and call it her CFL 2.0, EST Draft 2.0, taking it to Instagram. And we had to learn the parameters, and you can't promote everybody's draft apparently on your own social platform. And that's something that we as a bunch of draftees had to learn, because as we saw, somebody had to, in good faith, take down their promotional posts.
Oh, so it was a promotional post about your team.
About other teams that they might not know have been was theirs.
Team.
That's the third time you brought that up.
What's that?
That it was my team.
Coincidence. 3 times.
3 times. That's odd.
Vote.
Interesting.
Waddy in Cloverdale says the gentleman's agreement was for Twitter. Instagram parameters were not determined.
Exactly. Waddy, you get it.
No, Bronco Nick says Tommy playing the weasel like a champ.
Bronco Nick. A tip of the cap to you, sir.
All right. Let's keep these rolling in. The EST draft is not a development league. I am for an EST heel faction of Tommy Owanek and Zacticum. Quinn is a good sport in the draft, takes some abuse and adds some fun, but gets called out when needs to be. You know what? I like the fact that she does make decisions on her own.
True.
We didn't, it's not like we sat around and the 4 of us were like, should we up relegation to 12.5%? She just rolled in. She's like, relegation, 12.5%.
Yep.
I mean, there could be a situation where we're talking about, maybe a little bit too much power for Quinn, and maybe that's back. Maybe we gave her too much of a leash, and now it's backfiring on us as people who take part in these things.
Yeah. I'm willing to give her some grace, and that was I was surprised by how fired up that draft got everybody. Because even you guys, we'd been talking about that one for a while, and then it's like, okay, draft of handsome men. And it's like, I don't know. And so I had to get Jada to help me. And also, I'll just say that she showed Team 3 to a lot of her peers and colleagues and friends, compared them to teams 1, 2, and 4, and Team 3 happened to get a lot.
Was she ever going to not vote for you, though?
Yeah, but she didn't tell them who it was for.
Oh, okay.
And all the younger generations were like, oh, Team 3 by a mile.
By a mile.
And they didn't really know some of the people drafted on Teams 1, 2, and 4, which is odd, but...
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I thought the younger vote really favored Team 3.
So do you feel fortunate that because of the Instagram vote, like if this was a month ago, you'd be up for relegation right now.
On Twitter,
do you feel fortunate about that, or are you like the people on Twitter just didn't get it? They didn't understand the vote.
It shows us the discrepancy in audience and the different type of audience on one platform to the other. Because on Twitter, it's more older people. More our followers are people more so our age. Not all of them, but you get to Instagram and it's younger, probably more females, and my picks on the team that I happen to be, I can't remember what number it was.
Of course you can.
Seem to have and cater to the younger eye, if you will.
All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Dave the Welder says, Corey Perry, more like Tommy Perry, just worming around here right now.
What do you mean? I'm just kidding.
T. Wilson says, Tommy has his finger on the pulse of the Utes.
Yeah.
Would be youth there.
Brett B., thank you for this one. I'm going to read it. Tommy getting crucified because he did what no one else thought of doing first, shaking my head. Brett B., thank you. Promoting on Instagram.
So before the next draft, we'll have to have a discussion about this, or the commission just makes a ruling.
I'm open to that.
Yeah.
Willing to hear what has to be said.
All right. Well, keep them coming in. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. That is where you can slide in. Those are your spicy headlines. We had to get to the bottom of accidental post from Tommy trying to just promote the league. Trying to promote the draft
on a new platform.
Yeah.
I didn't know which one I screen grabbed, what team. And
you should at least own that. Like, I think your case here. Let's just say the commission.
I just don't know.
Let's say the commission actually says she wants to have a call with you and you're about to be sanctioned.
Uh-huh.
I think your best defense is, yes, I was promoting my team significantly back-to-back posts, but nobody said we couldn't do that on Instagram. Like, I think that's probably your best case.
Right. And if it were true that I didn't know I was promoting my team, that's how I would say it.
You are good with words. Oh, man. Oh, it's going to be a good battle between Tommy and Quinn here as they sort that out, man.
HR Daddy, get ready.
That's gonna be a good one. All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Rip City Step says, honest Tom Gazzola. And Rip City Step says, do not take legal advice from Dusty.
I'm calling
I think that's the best place to. I think that's the best way to look at it, because she knows what's up. I mean,
I showed Jada the group chat from Friday night, and she was like, oh my God, you guys take this thing so serious. She had no idea. And then we watched it last night. She was like, wow.
She watched the draft last night?
We reviewed it.
Did you?
To go over
see how it goes.
The material.
What did she think of your Ryan Reynolds first overall?
Loved it.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you take it because she suggested taking it first overall?
I don't know if she did, but she said just that's a unanimous yes. Hot guy was what I got in return. And I'm like, I said, there's no
ick.
No ick. But I said to her, I'm like, it's a burden going first overall because usually there's no consensus, number one, or there's a few different options that the majority of our following and audience thinks is the consensus pick. So if you don't pick theirs, they just shred you for it. But the strategy to go first overall after Rick took 4-5 was to get the swing on the other end.
8-9 swing at the other end.
And I'm happy about it. I stand by my draft. It didn't resonate with, I think, the older vote, but then it certainly captured the Utes, as was mentioned in the nasty chat just a couple minutes ago.
All right. With that being said, Eric won on both Twitter and on Instagram.
Yes. And
takes home the title in Handsome Man Draft. All right, let's get to Keep It or Clip It for Tommy Guns. And I keep hinting to my wife, I'm like, maybe I'll go for a haircut. I'm waiting her to be like, yes, go get one. It's a mess. But she kind of likes, I don't get to have long hair very often. And she kind of likes the long hair.
Oh.
So I'm just trying to be a good husband, and keep the hair a little bit longer for now.
Nice.
But I'm starting to get pretty tired of it. But when I do go, it'll be a Tommy Guns original barbershop. They believe a great haircut is more than just a quick in and out. It's about the whole experience. That's why they follow the code, a commitment to deliver the best barbershop experience every time you visit. From check-in to the finishing touch, every step is crafted with care. No appointments needed. Just walk in, relax, and we'll take it from there. And they have a personal guarantee that you will not get your throat slit by an enemy if you're a gangster. Only at Tommy Guns. Which actually sounds like what a gangster would call their barbershop.
Tommy Guns.
Tommy Guns.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some of these questions. This one was from Hernan Salas earlier on.
Okay.
Are the Canucks better after their 2 deals here?
I keep it. I'll show my work. You get rid of the issue in the locker room, or at least you mitigate a lot of it. And I think that's huge. And that's probably been part of their downfall this season is just all the turmoil, and that rots from within. So you get rid of a chunk of that. You add some good players like Hedl, if he can stay healthy, I think is pretty good. Is he the best player in that trade? No, it's JT Miller. Then you go and you flip that pick and some others, and you go and get and Vinny Desharnais, who was not really working out there. You get Marcus Pettersson. I do think the Canucks are a better team. Does it save their season? Time will tell, but it puts them in a better position to make a run here and salvage something. Whether or not they do it, we'll see. Demko's still got that knee injury that it's bothering him, and it's going to take a few weeks, I think, to probably get them to find their footing with the new guys that come in.
I think I'll keep it as well. You make a good point. Like, you clear out what you hope was an issue that was bringing down, but I think is a pretty talented group of players. And all they have to do is track down Calgary for a playoff spot.
That's a good point.
You know, like,
I see
in fact, the Canucks are only 3 points back of the Kings, who've been struggling. So, I mean,
and
the
Vegas
Kings got a couple
struggling.
games in hand, but yeah, Vegas only won 2 of their last 10.
Yeah.
So things kind of slowing down a little bit in the Pacific right now, but Vancouver's
they're
by
in
no
the
means
mix.
out of this thing. I mean, they're right there.
Yes.
So if their blue line is a little bit better, and I know they were talking about, well, Pettersson for first, but they dumped a couple salaries there coming out the other way from things that they were disappointed with. I like the moves. I like the moves for the Canucks.
The game between the Canucks and Flames March 12th is going to be huge. And then they should have the Flames at least one more time this season. No, that's it. That's it. So that'll be a big game.
YYC, no Flames for me. On paper, Vancouver is worse. In reality, JT Miller is too much of a spicy boy. So Vancouver is a more cohesive group now.
I agree with that statement.
C. Run says, isn't Miller like 31? He's the best player for this year, maybe next year, but then that trade starts to tilt a little bit in Vancouver's favor. And Bronco Nick says, Hedl is not a good player, hasn't been healthy or cracked 50 points just yet.
The healthy thing is an issue, but like when he's on, he can be pretty good. I like Hedl. When I saw him play against the Oilers, I'm like, geez, that guy looks good. Might be something there, but Bronco Nick was right. The guy doesn't stay healthy.
Do the Oilers stand pat on goaltending before the deadline? Keep it or clip it?
Keep it. Like, they're not changing anything.
I asked Dregs today just to try to show people that they're not going out and trading for a goalie. I said, have you heard them being involved in all? He's like, I'm sure internally they always have conversations about here would be goaltenders that would be interested. He said, but he hadn't heard anything on them going out to address a goalie. Like, they're not paying much for these guys. They can't afford to pay more for the position.
No.
Like, whether you're pro or anti-Skinner or whatever, these are your goaltenders. You will either win a Stanley Cup with them or you will not win a Stanley Cup with them. There's no changing it right now.
Yeah. Well, and that's a good reminder that they are 4th in the NHL as of today.
Yes.
4th out of 32.
They don't need goaltenders to save the season.
Yeah.
And yeah, we say every time we do this, I say Stuart Skinner's not going to win the Conn Smythe when the Edmonton Oilers win a Stanley Cup. They're going to win a Stanley Cup because McDavid or Draisaitl are absolutely unbelievable, and Stuart Skinner was just good enough to get it done.
That's kind of
that's almost what happened last year.
It's kind of what has been happening in the NHL in the last 10 years.
A little bit of Pickard sprinkled in, and you go from there, right? Like,
yeah.
All right, let's keep going on the keep it or clip it's for Tommy Guns. Let me bring up, we had a bunch here. Let me find, Coach Mike had one. Let's go this one. Okay, yeah, I like this one. 29-97, start game 1 of the playoffs on the same line. Keep it or clip it.
I just, out of sheer personal desire, I'm clipping it. They should, I think, stay and drive their own lines. And then you know that they're going to play games, and every single game essentially together, yes, on the power play, but there are those shifts after penalty kills where they go out there together, or you need a swing in momentum. You put those two out. It's inevitable that they're going to play together. I prefer the idea of them when they are actually rolling 4 lines or 3.5, whatever, that those two center their own lines. So I'm going to keep it just out of what I think is best for the team, that by the start of the playoffs, they're on their own lines. But the Oilers have some stats. They have some numbers that show them against certain opponents. They should be stacking them up together and playing them on a regular shift together. That's where we're at right now, I suppose.
Waddy and Cloverdale. Keep it or clip it. The Oilers should roll out Henrique between Arvidsson and Skinner, and maybe they find themselves together. If not, you can staple them to the bench together.
Oh,
so we're just talking about guys you need a little bit more from.
Yeah.
Skinner, by the way, Arvidsson, hardest shot yesterday at
101?
101 point something.
Nice. And he beat Darnell.
Nobody else was over 100. He beat Darnell, was at 99. I think Bouchard topped out around 97 or 98.
So I would clip putting Arvidsson, Henrique, and Skinner together because that's 3 guys not having great years. I applaud and laugh at the thought of you can staple them to the bench together. Well played. That's a small line, generally soft line if you were to put those 3 together. A lot of offensive potential. I was going to say ability, but this year it hasn't been there. I'd probably clip that one, considering how things are going for those 3 right now.
780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. That is keep it or clip it for Tommy Guns. You want to be, what do they say? Look good, feel good, play good. You want all of those things? Get them all at Tommy Guns. I know Bruce from William Huff went and he's like, this is the best haircut I ever had.
Nice.
So they got a new customer over there. So yeah, I did go to the drills and skills. McDavid was on the ice today for practice, so obviously he wasn't feeling good yesterday. Didn't get out there. Overall, I mean, it's an event for kids.
Yes.
There's a ton of kids. We got free tickets. Like, I'm sure they were dishing them out like crazy to minor hockey groups and stuff. Pretty good atmosphere for the kids. Usually when I get to games, be in the press box, or once a year, maybe twice a year, I'll take Marshall
Washington
or the
game.
family and we'll sit down low in the lower bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I had never actually sat. I know, I guess for Garth Brooks I did. But we were sitting up like high 200s yesterday. Yeah. It's bloody steep up there.
It is.
My God. Like, and first of all, I mean, I'm 6'5".
You're going
I would never pay for a ticket to sit there. Like, it's way too jammed for me. But it's kind of like when you're not as much at the Sphere, but when we were at the Sphere, you're sitting there and you're like, holy smokes. Like, it's steep up top, man. I feel like if I was to jump up and celebrate up there, I'd be get a few wobbly pops in you.
Yeah.
I don't know if my wherewithal could keep me standing.
Have you sat way up top at the Saddle Dome? Because I think that's similar, maybe even a little bit. It's even steeper.
You know what? The way up top one, like the third level up and like I've been out. Yeah,
those are.
Yeah, I went on a trip down there a few years back and we sat there and those are steep as hell too.
If you jumped up, Dusty, and you're in the last row, I think you could hit the ceiling.
Oh yeah, it's right there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But the kids had a pretty good time. Elizabeth's favorite part was the puppies.
The rough relay. I actually like that a lot.
Very much a Kucherov vibe to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, ladies and gentlemen, your Edmonton Oilers. And like Bouchard walked out on the ice slowly by himself. And then like 10 seconds later, Nurse came out. And it was just the two of them for a while. And it's just, Tammy's like, boy, they could have come out with a little bit more energy.
Yeah,
so it was a very much Sunday, we're millionaires. We'd rather be with our families type of thing.
It's super cool. But all that stuff.
It's cool for the kids to at least see some of the guys.
I used to host it with Gene.
Tony and Gene were doing it.
Yeah, and that was fun. Now, outside of like having responsibilities to work it, I take zero interest in it.
Yeah, I wouldn't go back. Like, I would never go without the kids.
Yeah.
I just don't. But I'd be interested to ask Marshall and Muzz if they'd want to go back next year.
Oh.
Like, is it just a one-off? Like, or would they want to go back next year?
I always thought it was neat. Like, as a kid, I'd love to go see it just because you do
a lot of those kids don't get to go to games, man.
No,
right?
that's true. And you get the game experience. It's just instead of a game, you get drills and fun stuff. And that atmosphere I appreciate. Plus, it is super expensive to go to games. that this is a way to let those that maybe can't dish out like 500 to 1,000 just for a game.
I
get
promised
in there for a
when
way
I
cheaper amount.
When I took Marsh to the Caps game, I promised the Muzz that I'd take her to the PWHL game.
That's awesome.
Have you seen the ticket prices for this PWHL game on like reseller
Is it
sites?
super expensive?
Buddy.
I know it's sold out.
Second level, $500 for a pair.
Well, that's more than the Four Nations face-off.
Marshall and I sat lower bowl for the Caps and Oilers for $400 for the pair. $500 for the pair up top. Actually, more than that. I think it was, almost $500. Cheapest $540, $270 a ticket.
When were you looking at tickets, though?
3 days ago.
See, I bought them right when they went on sale, right? Like
That's what I'm saying.
Straight off Ticketmaster,
like the seller
$70
market.
Face
Yeah,
value.
the secondary market is just gouging people for these
absolutely
for these tickets.
You shouldn't be able to do that, but I mean Ticketmaster, wherever.
That's
Any
free
resale
market,
site.
baby.
Anyway, I'm going to try
Gets
to
away
find
with
some
it,
tickets from somebody somewhere.
You can
Zach,
find
you
some.
want to make $10 in your tickets? I'll give you $80 for two. No, that's okay. Don't worry.
He's a big
each.
Ottawa charge guy.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, he wants to.
Local
but
Edmonton product.
You know what else though?
Danielle
This is great
Sarakmi.
news for PWHL. First of all,
Yes, it is.
I mean, there's this much buzz. They brought out those PWHL cards.
Yep.
That you can find at Wayne's. The price on those has gone through the roof
Really?
because there's such a demand for them. I don't know. They just Upper Deck did not prepare. Like they did not make enough cards.
Huh.
Like a box originally when it came out was like $150 for a box. It's $250 now.
Jeez.
Yeah, and they want people to be charging like $220 US or whatever that is Canadian. Like in this, like
It's like $300, isn't
It's
it?
insane. It's awesome. Like the PWHL business is kind of hopping right now. So hopefully that continues to trickle down. Do you think we could support a PWHL team here
Yep.
if it's Oilers driven? Obviously, I mean, there's nobody else would do that. So it would be Oilers driven PWHL team.
Yep.
What do you think we would do for crowds?
You know what? It would hurt the Oil Kings.
Yeah,
But-
it might hurt. Yeah,
but-
I mean, a junior hockey fan there's some people who just do junior hockey.
Yeah. There are
Right?
people
So I
that
don't know
are
if you would
junior
lose
hockey
them, but
diehards.
you would probably lose parents
Like-
and kids for some games.
Like
They'd
the
go-
special games, like imagine the teddy bear toss night. Do you go to teddy bear toss because you made it a family tradition, or do you go to the PWHL?
Well, I
games?
think it'll probably come down to cost.
Yeah,
People go to Oil Kings games right now because they're a hell of a lot cheaper than.
absolutely.
And
yeah.
if the PWHL comes here, the tickets won't be as expensive as this one-off. But I don't, the Oilers are still going to try to run that up.
I still think that they could support it. Like Calgary has a very similar size population to Edmonton. I think it's like 70 or 80,000 more in the metro area. And they have their AHL team, a WHL team, the NHL team, and an NLL team playing in the same building.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think the AHL draws that well. But if they can do something like that, I would think, and I would like to see Edmonton be able to offer a bit of a different product in professional women's hockey and it be sustainable here. I think that is possible. I don't know if the NLL comes back here. I know there was talk. I remember after the Rush moved to Saskatoon, there was discussion within the office. Oh, we're going to put in an application to get another
Get a
NLL.
team right away.
Didn't happen. Or if it did, it got shut down. But I don't think it happened. And then there was talk of a WNBA team potentially around here, and that seems to have petered out from last I heard.
All right, that's going to do it for the Oil Stream today. EST Afternoons is on the way. I know Hernan was excited about this. He goes, guys, first NBA guest. They're going to have somebody on to talk about that
awesome.
blockbuster trade between the Mavs.
Great.
Luka crying when he found out that he'd been traded, apparently. But said he bought a $15 million home like last week.
Oh,
So that sucks.
yep. He'll sell it. Don't worry.
I think he'll do okay.
He'll be just fine.
He'll be all right.
Hey, what did they say? 350 Supermax?
Down to it's like 226 now.
No.
Yeah, he lost about 130 mil in
Oh,
the trade.
that's okay. I'd be crying too.
Tough one. Plus the house.
And the
This guy's we're gonna have to start a GoFundMe for Luka Doncic after the trade to the Lakers. All right, for Tom Gazzola, I am Dustin Nielsen. The Oil Stream brought to you as always by Boston Pizza, heart-shaped pizzas this month at Boston Pizza. EST Afternoons with Hernan and Gager on the way next.